Hey, today we are going to do a spreadsheet for apple pie. Now, once again, or if this is your first spreadsheet, maybe not once again, but I have provided you the skeleton of a spreadsheet. All you have to do is fill in the appropriate numbers and do the calculations. You don't have to do the calculations. You don't have to use your calculator. The beauty of a spreadsheet is it does the math for you. All you have to do is punch in the formulas. Now, I realize some of you that's too complex for you to understand, and so you're going to want to punch in the formulas. But open up your mind. You might learn something here. Once you get used to it, it really is quite simple. Okay, you need to use this blue paper in a in conjunction with this spreadsheet you have before you. So we want to figure out all this information, all this nutritional facts for apple pie. Okay. Now, according to the blue sheet, flour has 400 cups, or excuse me, 1 cup of flour has 400 calories. So we're going to click on this cell right here and type in the equal sign, because the equal sign is saying to the spreadsheet, please do the math here. Please do the calculations. Equal sign, this times, and the times is shift 8 or asterisk. Whenever you use a computer program and you want to do times, it's not X. X is just X to a computer. You have to use the asterisk to represent times. And then we look at the blue sheet to find out there are 400 calories in a cup of flour. Hit enter. Now I've made it very small, so you can't see my answer, but I'm going to go ahead and show you my answer. Okay? So we know by simple math in our head that 400 times 3 is 1200. So we've done everything correctly. Fat 2, equal sign. Click on this cell, asterisk, which means times 1. Okay? Don't do autofill because that's a little more advanced than we're doing right now. So let's go on up, and the answer is 3. Okay? Sodium, use your blue sheet. 0, or excuse me, this number, asterisk, oops, I messed up. Oops, I totally messed up. What was there before? 3, right? Okay. Let's go here. Start again. Equal sign, this number, times, which is an asterisk, 0, enter. We know that's going to be 0 because any number times 0 is 0. 0. I hope you know that by now. And then carbohydrates, this one right here, equal sign, this number, asterisk, 87. 87 comes from the blue sheet. Do not do autofill. Okay. Now we go down to salt. Salt has 0 calories, so I could just put 0 in there. Boom. Fat, 0. Boom. Sodium is 2,132 milligrams. So I'm going to put an equal sign, this number, times, which is an asterisk, 2132. And that's going to give me the number. On mine, it's very small, but hopefully when you see your spreadsheet, I will have adjusted it so that it's full size. The reason mine is very small is because I don't want you to copy my answers. And then carbohydrates is 0. Easy peasy, right? Shortening, same thing. equals this number times 113. Okay, what I forgot to mention, I almost made an error there, is that there are 113 calories in a tablespoon of shortening. So I'm going to have to update my blue sheet. Your blue sheet will be correct. All right, so I don't know if you guys know this or not, but there are 16 tablespoons in a cup. So instead of multiplying this number times 113, I'm going to multiply that times 16 because there's 16 of those in a cup. So essentially it's 16 times 113, and there's my answer. Fat, same thing. There is, so we're going to say equals, where's it go? Equals this number, again, shift 8 or asterisk is times 13 times 16. Remember from algebra class, when we multiply numbers, it doesn't matter what we get. I forget the name of that property. In fact, it's the commutative property. So 13 times 16 is the same answer as 16 times 13. So we equal this number times 13, because that's how many grams of fat in shortening, times 16. Okay. Sodium, same way. Sodium is 0, so we can just put in a 0. Carbohydrates, 0. We can just put in a 0. Ice water has 0 calories, 0 fat, 0 sodium, 0 carbohydrates. Apples. An apple has 63 calories per apple. So I type in equals this number, star 8 or asterisk, times 63. Boom, there's our answer. Fat equals this number, and on our blue sheet, it's times, shift 8 is times, 0.2. Boom. Sodium for apples is equal sign this number times 1.1. Boom. Carbohydrates equals this number times 14.9. Boom. Next row. Apple juice is a half a cup. Okay. Now the blue sheet says per cup, so we're going to have to divide everything by 2. Okay. Cut everything in half. So here we go. Calories equals this number times 140, right? But that's 140 is for a cup. We're going to need to divide that by 2. In fact, I made a mistake here. So let's back up a little bit. Delete this. We don't need to do anything different. It's just like all the others. So I apologize. Equals this number asterisk 140. Okay. Fat for apple juice, 0. Sodium, 0. Carbohydrates equals this number, asterisk, shift 8, 35. Okay, there we go. Sugar equals this number times 5 divided by 48. Here again with sugar, on the blue sheet we have sodium per cup, but we want to know sodium per teaspoon. So we're going to type in equals this number divided by 48. Carbohydrates equals this number divided by 199. Sodium equals this number times 90 times 8. Carbohydrates. There are no carbohydrates in butter. Cinnamon, 19 calories per teaspoon. Okay? Equals this times 19. Fat, 0. Sodium, equals this number times 1. And carbohydrates for cinnamon equals this number times 6. I put my data in the wrong spot. Let's try that again. Equals this number times 6. Okay, did I make a mistake here too? Sodium for cinnamon was just 1. Cinnamon, 1 times 2 is 2. All right, cloves, calories in cloves, 5.8 equals this number times 5.8. Fat equals this number times 0.3. Or you could just punch it in since it's a multiplier of 1. You can just copy directly what's on the blue sheet. We are still on cloves. Sodium 5.8, and carbohydrates 1.4. Nutmeg 12 calories and a teaspoon. Fat 0.8. Sodium 0. Carbohydrates 1.08. Sugar equals this times 770 equals this times 0 equals this number times, what do we have in sodium? 5. Carbohydrates equals this number times 199. Cornstarch equals this number times 15 from the blue sheet. Fat equals this number times 0. Well, that's just 0. Okay. Sodium 0. Carbohydrates equals this number times 4. Alrighty. Now we've got that all filled out. We want totals. So highlight, no, excuse me, you don't have to highlight. Just click right here. Type in equals, and it knows what you're going to do. Equals, enter. Equals, enter. Equals, oops, equals, enter. Boom, there's your totals. You don't have to calculate it all up. Now, that's for the whole batch, but we want to know what the nutritional value for one pie is. So this recipe makes 6 pies. So we're going to take calories, we're going to say equals this number divided by 6. Boom. Equals this number, let's do it right. Okay. Equals this number divided by 6. Sodium equals this number divided by 6. And for carbs, equals this number divided by 6. Boom. Okay, now we got one more calculation and we're done. Then you can input your answers with a Google form. I want to know the area of a 6-inch pie. So this pie is not uniformly 6 inches, but we're going to pretend that it is because it's wider at the top than it is at the bottom. But this is called a 6-inch pie. The aluminum foil people call this a 6-incher. So we're going to calculate how much area is in a 6-inch pie. Now, in honor of Pi Day 3.13, let me rephrase that. In honor of Pi Day, March 14th, 3.14, which is the value of pi, pi, we're going to use that to calculate the area of a pie. So the formula is pi times the radius squared. So equals 3.14, that's pi, times the radius. The radius is half the diameter. So if it's a 6-inch pie, that's the diameter. The radius is 3 inches. So pi r. And then to do square, we're going to do this little thing right here. That means to the power of 2. And that's our formula for the area of a 6-inch pie. Pi times the radius, which in this case is 3, squared to the power of 2. Oops, you weren't supposed to see that. Anyway, let me try this again. All right, so we're going to figure out the radius of a pie. So in honor of 3/14, March 14th, which is pretty much similar to the number of pi. Pi is 3.14. It's a very important number in math. We need to use that to calculate the area of a pie. So this is a 6-inch pie pan. And I know it's not uniformly 6-inch. It's wider at the top than it is at the bottom, but we're going to pretend it's a 6-inch 6-inch pie pan on the top as well as the bottom. And we use the formula to calculate the area of pi r squared. So we're going to type in here equals 3.14, that's pi, times the radius. Okay, so if this is a 6-inch diameter pie, that's from one side to the other, then the radius is half that, or 3 inches. So pi times radius square. The way we write square on a computer is this little thing called a caret 2. That means to the power of 2. And that will give us our formula. Alrighty, I hope this has been helpful to you. Go ahead and fill this out. Submit your answers on Google Forms when you're done, and that's what will be checked. Thank you very much.